Season 2 is going to be a really intense season. Tommy Egan is going back to his tough, no-nonsense ways in Chicago. But there's also a new powerful person in the city's criminal world, Miguel Garcia, who's a mysterious drug lord. Things are getting more and more tense, and it looks like a big fight is coming. Tommy wants to challenge Miguel Garcia, and Walter Flynn is ready for a battle with Dublin. There's also tension between the CBI and treason, and we found out that two of Chicago's big players don't get along. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 important clues from episode 1. These clues tell us about the show's timeline and maybe even a character's death. It's going to be a tough time for Tommy. If you're new here, remember to subscribe if you want to see more clues and explanations in the coming months. Number 1. The timeline. After the exciting finish of Ghost Season 3, it's important for Force Season 2 to clarify where they are in the timeline. Did Tommy return to New York between the seasons, or will there be a crossover in Season 2 of Force? In a conversation with Liliana, she mentioned that it had been 2 days since her death. This hints at the timeline, and we need to find out what's going on. Number 2. Kate Egan deciding to stay sober. In Season 1 of the original series, it was clear that Kate had problems with drugs and had a lot of power. But it wasn't just Kate who struggled with addiction. She even shared this dangerous habit with her own son, Tommy Egan. Their relationship was already full of conflict, and their shared addiction made it even more toxic and unhealthy. So, it's surprising that she's now refusing the drug she used to rely on. There seem to be 2 possible reasons for her refusal. One is that Kate might be seriously sick and hiding it from her family. The other possibility is that she's trying to make amends with her newfound family. Kate Egan has a chance to start fresh with JP DeMac and even Tommy Egan. But is her time running out? Just as she begins to repair her relationships with Tommy and JP, could something happen to take her away? We'll need to watch closely for clues as they reveal more about the Egan family's past and whether Kate is facing a serious illness. Number 3. Dahlia's no more thanks to JP. In Season 1, there was a designer drug called Dahlia that became a big deal on the streets of Chicago, especially for Tommy. JP seemed to know how to make it, which was a clue in Season 1. Now, it looks like the writers are going back to the roots of what made power great by introducing Miguel Garcia, and a product that's been around in America for a long time. JP was the one who exposed Dahlia online, which made it lose its value on the streets. But could this drug find its way to New York? Tarek St. Patrick and Braden Weston are in a tough spot with no connections, no product, and no organization. So, could they stumble upon the recipe for Dahlia online and create their own drug network to compete with Noma's? Fans are trying to find connections between the 2 shows, which are linked in many ways. Could this be another connection between them? Number 4. The brewing war between Dublin and Walter Flynn. Brendan Doyle came to Chicago to personally deliver some bad news to Walter. Dublin wasn't happy with the situation, so they sent the 4 horsemen to help him in the war against Tommy Egan, but they never returned. In Season 1, it was clear that Walter answered to the bosses in Dublin, so losing their men was always going to be a problem. During their conversation, Doyle didn't seem interested in returning the favor that Walter had once done for his father when he provided men and money for a war. We don't know the exact amount Doyle was asking for, but it was a lot, and Polly told Walter he couldn't pay unless he sold his assets. It looks like Walter Flynn's time as the leader of the Flynn organization is running out. However, Victor isn't in a position to take over, and it's traditionally believed that a woman can't lead the Flynns. But could Claudia find a way to step in? Regardless, the situation with the Flynns in Dublin is getting more and more tense, and something explosive is likely to happen. So, is Walter also running out of time, or does he have one more trick up his sleeve to regain control of his kids in the Flynn organization? Number 5. Only those who have something to hide would fake their own death. Now that Tommy's true identity is known to law enforcement in Chicago because of his fingerprints, Agent Vargas mentioned that only those with something to hide would fake their own death. This makes you think, if Tommy could fake his own death, then why couldn't Ghost? Ghost was a very influential and well-connected man with ties to law enforcement, business, and even Stephen out of the DNC. He had medical personnel on site at Club Truth, and with the help of powerful individuals with influence, maybe even Ramona Garrity, he had the resources and tools to vanish just like a ghost. Recently, Omri Hardwick, the actor who played Ghost, was asked about returning to the Power series about 18 months ago. He mentioned that it would have to be the perfect opportunity for him to come back, and after some negotiations, they couldn't agree on what seems like a suitable deal. However, it appears that the writers are leaving hints in case Ghost were to return. You're absolutely right. Several characters in the Power series have faked their deaths, leaving open the possibility for Omri Hardwick's return. Whether that return would be as a hallucination for Tommy or Tarek St. Patrick, or as a living character, remains a topic of debate among fans. The breadcrumbs left by the writers suggest they're keeping the door open for a potential return. Joseph Sikora, who played Tommy Egan, posted a cryptic message during the filming of Season 2, Episode 5, asking if Ghost is alive or dead. This has led fans to speculate about a possible return for Ghost in Episode 5. As for Tommy Egan's identity being revealed, it remains to be seen if Stacy Mark's task force can finally catch him, or if law enforcement will face another significant setback. The outcome is still uncertain, and fans are eagerly awaiting the next developments in the series.